some shows are just fun to watch, and others shake you to the core. Today on Ending Explained, we're diving into the 10 most powerful and unexpected plot twists in TV history. The ones that made us pause the episode, stare into space, or scream out loud. Warning! Major spoilers ahead! Save this video if you haven't watched these shows yet, or get ready to relive the shock. Everything in The Good Place seemed perfect. Bright colors, friendly neighbors, frozen yogurt on every corner, and a celestial guide who had all the answers. Eleanor Shellstrop arrives in what she believes is heaven, surrounded by people who supposedly led morally perfect lives. But from the very first episode, something feels off. Bizarre events, chaos that doesn't quite fit the idea of paradise. And Eleanor knows she doesn't belong here. The show takes us on a philosophical journey about ethics, morality, and personal growth. Until, at the end of season 1, Michael reveals the truth. This isn't the good place. It's the bad place. Everything was part of a psychological torture experiment where the characters unknowingly tormented each other. What began as a whimsical afterlife comedy turns into a deep satire on redemption, selfishness, and what it truly means to be good. This twist doesn't just change the story, it redefines the entire premise of the show. From a celestial sitcom to a journey of self-improvement and resistance against the system and the darkness within. We spent 9 seasons, over 200 episodes, listening to Ted Mosby tell the story of how he met the love of his life, a story full of laughs, nostalgia, and the promise of a perfect ending. We watched Ted face heartbreaks, watched his friends grow, and saw him inch closer to that fateful meeting. And when we finally met Tracy, she was perfect, kind, smart, charming, worth the wait. But then the show does the unthinkable. It takes Tracy away from us. Her disappearance isn't even shown in full, just mentioned in passing. The story we thought was a tribute to her turns out to be a justification for getting back with Robin. The same Robin we knew from the beginning wasn't the mother. The twist divided fans. Some saw it as a poetic ending about time and second chances. Others saw it as a narrative betrayal. Because the real question wasn't just who is the mother, but why are we hearing this story? And for many, that answer hurt. With Mr. Robot, you're never quite sure what's real and what's just a fragmented reflection of the mind. From the very first episode, we follow Elliot Alderson, a brilliant but deeply complex hacker, living with anxiety, isolation, and a troubled past. He sets out to dismantle a powerful megacorporation with the help of a mysterious figure known as Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot becomes his mentor, a father figure, a revolutionary, but also a voice that pushes him to the edge. And then comes the blow. Mr. Robot isn't real. He's a projection, another personality inside Elliot's mind. That moment changes everything. What we thought were conversations between two characters were monologues. Group decisions were the chaos of one fractured psyche. The twist forces us to look back and reframe every scene. We realize Elliot is an unreliable narrator, and his own story is full of gaps, illusions, and broken memories. But the most painful part is understanding why his mind created Mr. Robot. To protect him, to survive trauma, to take over when Elliot couldn't go on. It's more than just a plot twist. It's a haunting portrait of mental illness, loneliness, and how our minds fight to keep us alive. In a world full of zombies, the scariest thing is still other people. For 6 seasons, The Walking Dead showed us a collapsing world, survival, grief, and loss. But nothing prepared us for Negan. From the moment he appeared with his cruel smile, leather jacket, and barbed wire bat Lucille, we knew everything would change. And it did, brutally. At the end of season 6, Negan forms a circle with the main characters and plays a twisted version of game to decide who is the victim. The screen fades to black. We wait months. Then season 7 begins. First, Abraham falls, brave to the very end. And then, Glenn, one of the most beloved characters, right in front of our eyes. What follows is difficult to watch, a drawn-out, intense moment that leaves everyone speechless. Maggie's silent scream, Daryl's overwhelming guilt, Rick's collapse, and us, completely stunned. This twist didn't just shock us, it marked a turning point, because in this world, no one is safe. And the biggest threat isn't the undead, but what we become in the fight to survive. In Westworld, nothing is what it seems, and no one is who they say they are. We meet William, a newcomer to the futuristic theme park, curious, idealistic, falling for the android Dolores. And we meet the man in black, cold, brutal, searching for a deeper game within the park. For most of the season, we think they're opposites. One a hopeful romantic, the other a sadistic explorer. But then the show drops the bomb. They're the same person. Everything we saw was happening on two different timelines. William, over time, lost his empathy, his humanity, and became the man in black. The twist isn't just clever, it's tragic. Because the most heartbreaking part isn't that William turned evil. It's knowing that he used to be good. For several seasons, Lost conditioned us to expect flashbacks. Each episode explored the traumas and secrets of the Flight 815 survivors, until it all changed. At the end of Season 3, we see Jack, a broken man hooked on meds, emotionally destroyed, seemingly another glimpse into his past. But then he says, "We have to go back," and it hits us. This isn't the past, it's the future. Jack and Kate have already escaped the island. But freedom isn't salvation. Their lives off the island are in ruins. For the first time, we realize, maybe the island wasn't their prison, maybe it was their chance at redemption. The twist was more than clever. It restructured the entire show, forcing us to reinterpret every scene from a new perspective. Game of Thrones taught us early on, never get too attached. But nothing prepared us for the Red Wedding. For 3 seasons, the Starks were our moral compass. Noble, loyal, principled. Robb Stark seemed destined for greatness, honor, leadership, and a cause worth fighting for. But in Westeros, politics is played with blood. When Robb breaks his vow to marry one of Walder Frey's daughters, we expect consequences. But not a betrayal of this magnitude. During what should have been a celebration, with Robb's pregnant wife by his side, the doors close, the music shifts, and everything changes. The scene unfolds with chilling precision. Robb, his wife, his mother Catelyn, and their allies all fall in a coordinated act of betrayal. There are no last-minute rescues, no narrow escapes, only shock, silence, and the weight of a world turned upside down. This wasn't just a twist, it was a statement. In this game, there is no justice, only power. And for millions of viewers, it shattered any faith in traditional storytelling. Dexter explored the darkest corners of the human soul and made us believe that maybe, just maybe, even someone with a shadowed past could find redemption. For 4 seasons, we watched Dexter Morgan juggle a double life, blood spatter analyst by day, and someone with a code-bound urge for justice by night. But when Arthur Mitchell enters the story, everything changes. Mitchell isn't just Dexter's most dangerous enemy. He's a reflection of Dexter, a family man, a hidden monster, and proof that dual lives destroy everyone. After a harrowing psychological battle, Dexter finally stops Mitchell. He believes it's over, that maybe he can finally have a future with Rita and Harrison. But then, he comes home. The bathtub is filled with red water. Rita is unresponsive, and Harrison is on the floor, crying, just like Dexter once did as a child. In that moment, Dexter loses more than Rita. He loses hope. The illusion that he could keep his darkness separate from the people he loves. It's a tragic full circle, a punishment, a reminder that monsters don't get fairy tales. Few shows build tension as masterfully as Breaking Bad, and no moment shifted the entire story quite like this one. Over 5 seasons, Walter White transformed from a quiet chemistry teacher into someone far more calculating and dangerous. And all the while, his brother-in-law Hank had no idea what was unfolding right under his nose. Until that day in the bathroom, Hank finds a book with a dedication. To Walter White from Gail Botiker. 1 line, 1 realization. And everything crumbles. The camera stays on Hank. His face says it all. So does ours. Because we know the truth is out, and there's no going back. That twist lit the fuse for the end. No more lies, no more hiding, only downfall. Shot in black and white, with an atmosphere thick with mystery, we follow a woman whose face is bandaged after surgery to fix her appearance. We never see the doctors, only hear their concerned voices. Finally, the bandages come off. She's beautiful, but the doctors react in horror. Then we see them. They have distorted, grotesque faces. In this world, her beauty is a failure. The twist isn't just shocking, it's profound. A scathing critique of society's standards, of what we label as normal or acceptable. Decades later, this remains one of television's most iconic twists because it touches on something universal. The fear of being different, the pain of not belonging. These twists took our breath away. Which one hit you the hardest? Did we miss your favorite twist? Let us know in the comments. Hit like if even one of these moments still lives rent-free in your mind. Subscribe to Ending Explained for more unforgettable moments, deep dives, and jaw-dropping stories. See you in the next episode.